met you, but I didn't know about the train. What's all this about? I don't know exactly. Some of the boys and girls called a special meeting. I think you won't like this, Johnny. They want to move a vote of no confidence.
Why? They've only just elected me.
It's Ted Collins. I think he's got old or something.
Collins. He's the one who's a bit of a red.
Aye.
I can handle him.
I hope so.
And furthermore, comrades, because of what he did, our local lads may be dying in the sands of Mazran.
Might I ask Mr. Collins where he got this information?
I have my sources. Now, as I was saying, our member had the chance to protect democracy, to safeguard the workers of Mazran, to stop troops being sent in to suppress a democratically elected assembly. And what did he do? He ratted. He ran along to the Prime Minister and crawled. Now, I say this. We in Earnley have no confidence in a member who is not prepared to support the principles of the Labour Party.
And in seconding this motion, I'd like to say that this is not the first time our member has let us down. How often do we see him here? He should be here regularly to listen to our views instead of airing his own on television. Well...
Right.
Order!
I've been to see our member in London twice about Mrs. Rogers and her trouble with her landlord. And he wasn't there neither time, or so they said. And Mrs. Rogers and her daughter-in-law both wrote, but they didn't get no answer. Oh, and Mrs. Rogers' daughter-in-law sent a stamp.
Well, we public figures have a lot to put up with. But, and blunt speaking is my motto, I say Johnnie Bryne has got a bit too big for his boots.
I'm sure I can't remember when she last came down. And we do like to feel that our member's wife isn't too stuck up to come and see us. We'd make her very welcome in the women's section.
Comrades and fellow members of the Earnley Labour Party Local Committee, I'm quite aware of your concern about Mazran, and as far as the questions that you've asked me are concerned, the very earnest questions that you've asked me...
By seeing the Prime Minister, I was seeking, both loyally and privately, to use my influence rather than embarrass the government in the House of Commons and in front of the whole country. I'm happy to say that the Prime Minister took me completely into his confidence and gave me firm assurances. I know I can speak in confidence to you. Assurances which were right, as time will prove. I'm afraid I can't divulge them to this meeting because I gave my word, but I can tell you this, that all will be well, and I make no apology for what I've done. Now, as to the charge that I have neglected the constituency, I'd like to tell you this. In the past year, I have addressed 92 public meetings up and down the country as my contribution towards unseating the Tories. I have also lectured to 14 weekend schools as part of the Labour Party educational drive. And my wife has done everything she can towards the defeat of the Conservatives. I cannot imagine that my course of action has been wrong. But as that defeat is so convincingly achieved, of course I will resume my visits here and do all in my power for the people of this constituency who did me the honor of electing me. And I promise not to show my ugly mug on TV unless asked to do so by the National Executive. Therefore, you needn't worry about the children having nightmares. Well, fellow members, I have given you an explanation of the past and an assurance for the future. And all that's left to say is that I will see you next Friday when I come here to do all I can for my fellow Labour members of this great town.
Well, in view of what our member has said, perhaps Comrade Collins would like to withdraw his motion.
No, I wouldn't, Mr. Chairman.
Well, in that case, we shall have to vote on it. Will those in favour of a vote of no confidence in our Member of Parliament please raise their hands?
Those against? Motion carried. Friends, I'd like to make an appeal to you. The news of this vote is bound to get out, and it can't do the party any good so soon after the election. Now, let's say to our Johnny here that he's on probation, as it were. And we'll see how things work out in the future. Are you all agreed?
No. That's right. Give him another chance.
That's right.
Yes, I think that's in order.
All right.
Comrades and fellow members of the Earnley Labour Party, I can hardly find words to thank you for your understanding and your generosity and your generosity.